members. Well, this is a unique meeting for sure. So what we're going to do this meeting are memo book covers. So there are a lot of the scales that you've used. These are just regular composite books. They're going to have pockets, and you can, I think I'll probably put 2 different fabrics in your packets. So I will supply each of you with a memo book, and then you will have 2 pieces of fabric that are 11 by 16.5. You will have interfacing, and you're going to have kind of a multiple shape of interfacing. What I did is I just used the interfacing left over from our centerpieces, so we were using leftovers, and you'll just have to kind of fit this. Then you're going to also have 2 pieces of fabric that are 11 inches tall, and you may have varying widths depending on kind of what I ended up with scraps. And you can choose to use 2 different widths or cut them the same. So this is what your finished memo book cover will look like. So this is 2 different colors, 2 different pockets. Okay, I also want to thank Cheyenne, our videographer right now. So she is busy at work. Okay, so you're going to have multiple pieces of interfacing. What you're going to need to do is fit them to your fabric. Leave a small space around it so that you reduce the bulk. So what I'm going to do is just lay these out like this, and then I'm just going to cut this off. There's nothing exact about it. And I think, as I said, I just used the interfacing that we had left from our centerpieces, which, by the way, great job, you all. We gave the Rocky Mountain Oyster Feed Committee 95 placemats. Okay, so now I have these pieces. I'm going to take them to the ironing board. So at the ironing board, ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is not the part to rush. I know you don't love this part, but if you don't take your time, it's not going to work. I wish you could see Cheyenne. She's up on a kitchen stool standing doing this. Okay, so I have, remember, it is bumpy side down. So that is the fusible part. I've got a steam iron on high with steam on it. You're going to place the iron on the interfacing, hold it, count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you're going to move the iron until this is all complete. Now have your pieces all fused together on the wrong side of one of the pieces of the book cover. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to now take these folded pieces, and I'm showing you 2 different sizes because sometimes in your packet there will be 2 different sizes, and like I said, you can cut them the same or you can have one pocket that's bigger than the other. And what this is, these are your inside pockets. It's actually holding your memo book cover. So just put a couple pins in the fold side. So you're going to fold these wrong sides together. Wrong sides are the ugly sides. Right side is out. And along the fold, you're going to just do a close stitch. I'll show you this one because this is in dark stitching so you can see it. This is just going to give it a nice finish. So on this one, I'll show you. So here is the folded piece. Wrong sides, raw edges together, folded piece. So I'm going to take it to the machine, and you're going to stitch very close to your fold. You're going to back stitch to secure it, and I would go right inside your presser foot. So right inside the edge of that presser foot, which is going to give you a very straight edge. So you're just going to go down along that edge. And this is just going to give your flap a nice finished edge. Back stitch. So now you're going to make a sandwich basically. You're going to take your raw edges of your flap, and on this one I'm going to make the bigger flap, doesn't really care which side it's on, but on the front side. So make sure you trim your threads. make the sandwich. You're going to put, this does not have a right and a wrong side. If it had a right side, you would put it face down so that right sides are together. So you've got right sides, you've got your pockets, you've got all your edges matching. You're going to pin this. You're going to leave about 3 inches for an opening because like the placemats, we're going to turn them inside out. So this is very much like what you did on the placemats, except for these are rectangles instead of a circle. And it's important for the dimensions of this project that you're really careful about your stitch width. So they're calling for a 1/4 inch, which is just the outside of your presser foot. Again, I know some of you don't love pinning, but it does ensure that it holds the pieces together, and you have those flaps in there, so it's going to be important that you hold all that together. Okay. So we're going to pin these flaps down. And then we're going to go to the sewing machine and we're going to sew around, leaving this 3-inch opening. So for you all, you might want to put double pins in it, so you just remember to start and stop there. Okay, so remember we did the double pins where we're leaving the opening. This is what I'm saying. Put your presser foot right along the edge of the fabric. You're going to backstitch just to secure it in place, and you're just going to stitch right along. Now when you get to your end, you want to pivot your needle. So try to figure out where that 1/4 inch mark is. I think it's going to be about right there. And then here's your presser foot. And then you're just going to continue around. So you're going to do this all the way around your placemat, your memo book cover. So again, when you get to the end, just slow down and you're going to just guesstimate where it's going to be to get to the edge of your presser foot. Okay, so we have our memo book, right sides together, stitched around with our opening. The only thing you're going to do before you turn it is clip your corners. And remember, that just helps reduce bulk. You're just going to clip those like that. Be careful not to get the stitching in. Now you're going to turn it inside out. Okay, so I've turned it inside out. Now one of the things you want to do is make sure that you go in and really push out your corners so that you don't have a big bulk in there.
Chopsticks.
Chopsticks work well, you're right. A pen, as long as you don't get ink or poke it through. So when I laid this down, my initial thought was, oh, I wanted these pockets to be on the opposite side. The beauty of this is you can determine which side you want these pockets to be on. So which side you want your outside to be and what side you want your inside to be. So I think because this inside's on this fabric's kind of boring, it would be nice to turn it inside and to have that other look. So I'm going to do it this way. So this is what I was telling you, that in this particular one, this flap is bigger than this one. So if I were going to do it, I would probably make my bigger flap be the front of the book, just because. Now this is the same thing we did with our placemats. You want to make sure you're getting all these edges out. You know, Mrs. Morrill took them and hit them against the edge. You know me, I kind of like liking pulling it out and then pinning it. It doesn't really matter. The thing that will matter to make sure that this is going to fit your memo book is that you have all of your edges out. Because if you don't, your fabric becomes smaller and then it's not going to fit. So this is how I would do it. You all may have different techniques. You can push your hands in, but I just want to make sure that there's no fabric tucked in those folds. So I'm going to do this all the way around. And then what we're going to do is press this. You're going to fold this opening in. Now this is going to be tricky because we've only made a small seam allowance. So you don't have a lot to work with. So you want to make sure when you're top stitching that you are closing that in. And again, I would just use that very edge of your zipper foot to do your top stitching. So this is that opening. We're going to pin this. So I'm going to take this to the ironing board. I'm going to press it, and then we're going to top stitch it. and then you're done. So I've pinned it around and I've pressed it. Now before you do your top stitching, which is the last step, you just want to make sure that the memo book's going to fit. So here we have we have extra here, and we have extra here. So that just shows you that the pattern that we've made fits. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take this to the machine and you're going to top stitch around it, making sure to enclose that opening. The directions say 1/4 inch. I'm a little hesitant to go that big to make sure the book fits, so I'm going again just on the inside of that presser foot. And you're just going to go all the way around. The other reason I am doing that is because our seam allowance is only 1/4 inch. And so if we go that far in, then that opening is not going to get caught. And then you're just going to have a hole. So we now have our finished book cover, and you are just going to take the memo book, put it in that side, and put it in the other side. Get rid of all that stuff, and you have your finished memo book cover. So please send me pictures when you finish them. I'd love to see them. And I think this is something that you can use and do as a gift as well. Take care. I look forward to seeing your pictures.